everybody. Welcome to another edition of Defense of the Patients. We are a Dota 2 podcast. I'm Cyphus. That's Roland.
Hello. This is me, Roland.
And we're here to bring you our TI7 hangover edition of the DotP Monday show. We're a little bit late. It's because we got in... We ended up getting in way late, or getting back home way late Saturday night. Technically Sunday morning.
Technically, we got home early.
We did get home early.
We weren't planning on being home until like 2 in the morning on Sunday.
Yeah, which would have been terrible, I realized.
Oh my god, I still have not recovered.
Yeah, I had to go to work today and still felt...
So, I mean, if we're like a life buff... You know what I mean? If instead of Dota buff, if I had like a life buff.
Yeah.
I set several records on that trip.
Yeah. Okay.
First and foremost, most consecutive days with a hangover.
Yeah.
Definitely. Monday had a hangover. Tuesday had a hangover. Wednesday had a hangover. Thursday had a hangover.
Monday was
Friday
the only day I had the hangover. That was the only day. I took it. I was... After that first Monday hangover, because I know, I guess we really haven't talked about it at length, like the trip.
Oh my god, it was.
Let's take it chronologically.
It was the best trip of my life. I'll just go ahead and like say that.
Yeah.
It was literally the best vacation I've ever had.
So let's take it chronologically. We arrive last Sunday.
Oh no, it's a pretty cool story. We left. I don't know. I thought it was.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here. At my house. Audrey is in Colorado. My dog is already at my parents' house. All I have are my two cats, Loki and Archimedes. I love them very much. And I'm playing Dota, and it's like midnight. And I'm like, fuck. Like, if we left right now, we'd be there by like noon. And then we could sleep for Sunday, and then go out and have drinks with Tom.
Yeah.
He's a friend of ours, a really good friend of ours. You guys know him as Juice.
Yeah, sound engineer.
Yeah,
Helps with the show a lot.
I was like, God, that sounds like a good time, and it's totally worth driving throughout the night to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I called Denny, and I'm like, why wait until 5 a.m. to leave? Why not leave right now?
Man, you called me like right as I was about to crawl into bed and have like that one last night of sleeping in my own bed before going on a long ass trip. Knowing I was already going to be behind on sleep because I had worked that day.
No, so you were like, you're 24 hours.
No. I hadn't worked Saturday. Yeah, I had worked the Friday before, and I'd stayed up late Friday night because I knew it was going to be my last
Our
night.
24-hour mark was like 11 a.m., both of us.
Yeah.
Like 10:30 to 11 a.m., we both had slept in. My wife is gone, like I said. I was able to sleep in. My wife and child were gone in Colorado because we're getting a divorce. No, it felt like it, though. She was gone like a month.
Yeah, she was gone for a long time.
But I visited a couple times once.
So you call me, and we end up taking off Saturday night out of sheer excitement. About 6 a.m., we realized we weren't going to make it the full way.
Oh, man. We were running on fumes. And I was just like, dude... And then we found our way in Penguinton. That's all I know.
Pendleton, Oregon was where we made it. Though, to be fair, we would have stopped about an hour and a half earlier than that, but we couldn't find hotels because the Shriners Convention
damn Shriners
was taking place in Baker City. We found out from a very helpful woman who did.
Oh my god!
Even though we didn't get to
awesome.
book it, she was
Beverly
very helpful.
was her name, if you recall.
Yeah.
She was just a hotel. She was not just she was the best front desk reception something or other
attendant. Sure.
And God, she was so helpful. She's like, use this, go here. This is gonna be the place. Here's how long it's gonna take.
Yeah.
You know, if
she
you want me to sing you a song,
yeah,
I will.
Where the next possible place we could pick up a hotel room, given that the Shriners Convention was in town, and that turned out to be an hour and a half away. So we stop in Pendleton. We stay. We managed to
first continental breakfast I've ever made it to.
Yeah,
because I was up early enough or up late enough.
Thankfully, those folks were kind enough to let us check in at 7 and check out at 2.
They were just like, sleep as long as you want.
Yeah,
they're sleep as, and I feel like we left it around 12:30 actually. I got your ass up and was like, I'm ready, dude.
Yeah, maybe, man. It's all a blur.
And then it showed that we had a 4-hour drive, but the traffic, we hit mad traffic.
Yeah, for a Sunday, I was pretty shocked to see that kind of traffic going in through.
Apparently,
Tacoma.
there's some Air Force base that let out.
But on a Sunday,
Maybe, hell, dude. I'm sure there's. Still got to man the stations, dude.
Yeah, not on a Sunday. Your civilian workforce is where you generate that traffic. Like, that's not, I don't know. But regardless.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Does my mic sound weird? Does
no.
it sound like I'm, okay.
And your wavelengths even look good. Okay. What's wrong? What are you hearing?
I guess I feel like I sound like I'm too far away from the mic, maybe, or like I'm off in the distance.
No.
Maybe it's just been so long since we recorded.
No, I mean,
in the studio.
I don't think so.
So we hit that bad traffic. We're gonna stay at this Knights Inn in SeaTac. We had booked that room. Breaky had booked that room, and we get to the Knights Inn at SeaTac. And in addition to it being like one of the shittier hotels we'd ever lain eyes on,
no, the shittiest.
Easily.
Can I just be honest? I don't think Breaky listens to this show. Can I just be absolutely dead honest?
Well, the only reason I was even willing to consider it was because they had overbooked the double queen rooms, and we only had the option of that one king bed, which you're right was a shitty king bed. It wasn't the kind of king bed it wasn't even really a king.
It wasn't. Okay.
It was not full-size king.
He makes this place sound like it's livable. Okay.
It would have been would have been tolerable for a week.
This place, you guys, I understand that I come across as however I come across.
Hoity-toity.
Hoity-toity. Whatever. At least I'm not holding a tiki torch, okay? I will publicly denounce you fucking fascists. But that's another thing. Anyway, I walk into this room. This is a place fucking fascists wouldn't even want to live, dude. This is a place fucking fascists wouldn't even be allowed to go. If anywhere in the world. Fuck you. Anyway, moving on. I walk into this room and am there for about 5 to 15 seconds before I walk right out of that room and say, I am not staying here. It was shocking to walk into that room for me. I could not believe that other people were willing to accept the fact that to stay in that room.
I mean, I've stayed in shitty hotels before.
Like I've stayed in shitty hotels with you. That one in Vegas was horrible.
The Howard Johnson in Vegas was not great.
But I was like, whatever, like, I'll deal with it. Like, the towels had been washed. The beds had been made. There was a new toilet paper roll. There weren't cigarette holes in everything. There weren't cigarette butts. Like, you could tell, like, there's a toilet right next to a bathtub, and you could tell people were, like, shooting up heroin while their cigarette just burned on the bathtub, and they just fuck the cigarette, right? Like, they're just nodding off after just shooting up heroin.
A lot of good burns in that pour.
Oh man, it was. If you wanted meth, if you wanted heroin, if you wanted the hard shit, you go to the Knights Inn at SeaTac.
I knew you were going to have this reaction as we were walking out. I knew you were not going to like the place.
Guess what our view was? A trailer park. Yeah. It's okay. I would have rather knocked on any one of those people that live in that trailer park and said, "May I please just bunk with you for a week?" Instead of saying in that shitty hotel that you have to look at every day. I felt bad for the people living in the trailer park that had the view of that shitty hotel, dude.
But I knew you were going to have that reaction. Where I knew you were going to get really upset about it all was as we were walking to the door in the room, I realized that the windows because most motels and hotels don't let you open the windows anymore.
No.
And this one had the window open in advance.
It was already
to let it air out.
Dude, I kind of was like, the second we pulled up, I realized I'm not going to enjoy staying here. Like, right when we walked in to get the keys, I'm like, I'm not going to enjoy. I was happy to see that they gave us actual beep cards instead of keys, like, ling, 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 keys. Like, I was surprised it wasn't just, like, keys to the room, not like, instead of, like, a digital key. So that was, like, the first, like, okay, maybe it's not so bad. Like, that's probably a pretty new technology. Like, within the last 20 or so years.
I would have argued more for staying there had we been able to get 2 queen beds.
I would have let you stay there with 2 queen beds. And I would have been staying at the Belltown Inn on 3rd and Bell.
Yeah, so that's where we wound up staying.
And clarification for anybody that thinks their defense of the patient's money is going toward that. No, ask my wallet where that money is going toward, because that took a big hit My wallet is still recovering from the punch in the face it took on this trip.
Yeah, that was...
But it was a good punch in the face.
Yeah.
It was a very good punch in the face.
I will say it definitely improved the trip being right in the downtown area. Yeah. That was nice.
Like,
and it's definitely something like knowing... I mean, because we've stayed outside of... We've stayed outside of Seattle every TI before this TI. Like, you and I... So the first time we went up, we stayed at the Motel 6.
I guess we should be super transparent. And I don't mean to... I'm so sorry for cutting you off, but what did Patreon go toward for that? What amount per person did
towards
that?
TI?
Yeah, towards TI. Because it was Ursi, Proud, Breaky, you and me is what who we paid out for
honestly,
TI expenses.
Probably less than... I would say definitely less than 20% of everything anybody's donated in like the last 6 months, and probably less than 10%.
So I'll go ahead and be specific with Denny and I. $450 for both Denny and I is what we allotted ourselves for.
Yeah,
from
although
the Patreon.
Some of that was angel investor, and some of that was also...
And we got paid the least by a humongous margin of any other show host.
Yeah, well, that's been, like, I mean, if we're going to be transparent, that's been our MOs. Like, we don't
pay ourselves anything.
Yeah, we've been paying out the other show hosts, but not paying ourselves.
Yeah,
but we also own the company, and we're willing to invest that money back into the company.
Yeah, no, this is like my hobby. Like, I could either build RC planes or something like that, but instead I don't want to.
I'd rather that $100 a month that would go to me eating out somewhere twice a month go back into the podcast growing.
Yeah, no.
and just the company.
I would much rather see Ursi, Proud, or Breaky make money.
Realistically, though, no, I'd say less than 10% because you figure we already divide what the Patreon makes in half right off the bat to pay show hosts.
Yep,
and
the other half to cover expenses,
and the other half covers monthly expenses.
This should be a Patreon exclusive, honestly, and we need to do a Patreon exclusive.
We do owe another Patreon exclusive. In fact, we owe 2.
Oh my god!
Because the first one is still sitting on that computer right there. I need you to upload it right when we finish this episode, so I can upload that.
Well, let's go ahead and just so you know, we didn't stay at some ritzy hotel on your dime.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Just so everybody knows, matter of fact, the company is very much so in the red, and we are not very good at this. But
we're getting better.
We're getting better, and know that money came out of our own pockets. The business was not billed for any of this. The business will not pay for any of this. This was us saying, not gonna get scabies. Okay, we're gonna stay somewhere else. And Breaky, if you got scabies, dude, I know a great doctor right in the Grand Rapids area that can help you out, dude.
So we head down to Belltown, and I mean, it takes a while to find a place that's even available. And even Belltown wasn't able to get us 2 queen beds until, like, was it Tuesday night?
Yeah, it was Tuesday. So we shared a king, but there's a laptop barrier, okay?
Yeah.
Where we were watching.
Oh, but Sunday night, so we get in, and it was
very stressful, by the way.
It was stressful trying to find a place. And
explain away on my father-in-law how stressful that experience was.
So, while we're sitting in the Knights Inn
I have to call
lot,
the wife because I'm about to spend like $3,000 more.
Yeah.
And so I have to be like, hey, like, I'm going to go book a room that I want instead of a room that I definitely would not live in.
While we're there, and they're still trying to help us find someplace cheap, so the issue that we're having booking a hotel is that Wednesday night, there's a Metallica concert in town, and honest to God, every hotel we looked at within like 5 miles of Key Arena had nothing available on a Wednesday night. Most of the hotels, and then our other options were basically we could switch hotels midway through the week and stay at one place Sunday through Tuesday night. Then Wednesday through the following Sunday, we would have to switch hotels and find someplace else.
Sucks.
That was looking like it might be our. But
we totally were willing to do it. I mean,
it may have.
I didn't
not
want
about
to.
Willing. Like, it might have been that we had to. But meanwhile, we've got your father-in-law on the phone. And he's trying...
My father-in-law.
He's just your father-in-law.
How would that...
He's just your father-in-law.
Because he married into the family.
He's still your father-in-law.
He's not like my married father-in-law?
He's your wife's stepfather. He's your father-in-law.
Oh, okay.
So
it's not like he's my stepfather-in-law?
No, I mean, if you want to go that specific, I guess I'm sure you can.
I like the guy, but I like the guy.
He's on the phone trying to help us find a hotel room. And it's one of those things where there's a generational difference. He's in his, 60s?
He retired.
Yeah.
So
he's in his 60s.
Like 66.
Yeah. He's in late 60s, and he's searching on Expedia, and I'm searching on Expedia, and he keeps and you've got him on speaker.
He's got these like 160 for the Marriott that's 0.001 miles away from Key Arena.
And I'm like, Daryl? I'm like, Daryl, I am looking at Expedia. I do not see this listing. And I realized pretty quickly that what's going on is he went to Expedia, he put in Key Arena, Seattle, Washington, and ran a search for that night only. That's what he did. He ran a search for that night only, because even when he was giving me hotels that I could find available, he was saying things like, it's only $120 a night. And I'm looking at it going, no, that thing says it's $350 a night on average. Yeah. Because that's what it worked out to for the full week. And we keep trying to explain, no, we are going to be here for 7 days.
Yeah, like we need a place from Sunday to Sunday.
Yeah, it's like, please.
And so finally, look, so it was like this juggle of, because Audrey let's save as much as we can. I was like, I agree with you. Let's not go crazy here. Let's save as much as we can, which meant intermittent phone calls while I am desperately looking on my phone. Denny's desperately looking on his phone, trying to find a place, and then all of a sudden my phone will fucking ring, and it'll be like, we found a place. It's $142 a night, and it's 42 miles away with a 4-hour commute each day, and it's like.
Or even worse was that half the time they would call back and they would tell us that a place was available for $100-something a night. And then I would go and look at it, and it was only available for the one fucking night. And
then
that was
finally it clicked, and we're saying, "Are you searching for 7 days?"
No, I told him that I knew that from
finally
the moment
he went, "Huh?"
Yeah,
and then he's like, "Yeah, I'm seeing what you're seeing now." And it was like,
and it's like, yeah, there's jack shit. Even worse is they kept calling us as we trying to book
shit. We lost a great
deal
too.
We lost 2 great deals along that way.
Yeah,
where we could have gotten a place that was it was definitely further away than Belltown Inn, but it was still in the downtown area. It was, but it was considerably cheaper.
5 stars, I give that place,
because we were because they would call while we were in the midst of booking it, because they would alternate between calling you and calling me, and because they would do that. Every time I'd log back out, and then boom, that fucking hotel was gone, because it was booking up that fast before our eyes.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So Sunday night is stressful.
We finally are able. We're tired. We've been driving from 12:30. It's now like getting dark. It's like 8:30. Tom has already said, hey, let's meet up a different night. And we're like, oh, fuck. Like, that sucks. But Tom would have to drive all the way in to town and then find parking, and it's a bitch, and we understand. And initially we were just going to meet in Seattle, Tacoma, which would have been easier to meet. And anyway, the second I walk in that room, I'm like, okay. And then I open the bathroom door and I'm like, all right. We don't have to worry about this anymore. And Denny's just sitting there like, oh, I'm tired. I'm like, I'm going out on the town, dude. I was like, I need alcohol.
Yeah.
Like, don't you?
Yeah.
After all that,
it was good. We go out, we find a bar, we grab a drink there. We find another bar, we grab a drink there.
We find a pot store, we grab some pot there.
There were pot stores
everywhere.
I will say, because I was under the impression when we got there that I don't know why, because we'd never stayed downtown. And I didn't realize...
I didn't think dispensaries would be in downtown.
Right, I didn't either.
Yeah.
And then when we were walking around going from bar to bar, and I was like... I remember looking over at you and being like, that's definitely...
And they look like nice establishments.
Yeah, they do.
Honestly, I'll be honest with you guys, it's legal. So, I could totally talk about it and say that I did. Problem is, it gives me anxiety. I have smoked marijuana in my life. But that shit's just too strong. And it's just too good. And I don't want to mess with it. I know a lot of people did and probably had fun. It's not fun for me. I want something that's going to calm me down, not hype. There's already a hype clock in here that's going 3,000 RPM.
Well, I think people would argue that it would calm you down, but it makes you anxious. It has the opposite.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It makes anxiety.
I do remember walking around being like, wow, they're fucking here in the middle of the fucking city. And you can always tell them because they've got massive green signs.
Have a Heart was the one that was right next to where we were staying.
So we were, just kind of, I'm more just blown back because it's nice to be in, no matter what your political inclination is, it's interesting to be in a very left-leaning, liberal city. as opposed to
I didn't feel that way. I took it as a city where it's like people were like, I love it here.
No, but I mean that's a lefty thing.
If you're happy, you're left.
No. Legalizing pot is a lefty thing. I'm saying like the Seattle's policies are super lefty. Like the way the police interact with the public are more.
Well, we're not North Carolina or anything, but like it's definitely like more left than that. No,
but I mean it's just and Seattle overall anyway has a laid back vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean it's just I'm more just saying like it was interesting interacting with the city in the heart of downtown and seeing a different cultural vibe about the place.
Absolutely.
That's more of the comment I was trying to make.
Absolutely. The cultural vibe was that of it reminded me a lot of Portland, because Portland seemed like, I'm a musician. I'm going to go to LA. I'm going to go to Portland or I'm going to go to Seattle. Yeah, like that seems like, you know, where musicians go. Yeah. And so it reminded me a lot of Portland.
It's like, yeah, especially with all of our friends.
It's true, though. That's where you
go. But all of our friends went there for like fashion, because we had a lot of people that went there because they were going to get into fashion. It's like, oh yeah, Paris, Milan, and Seattle. Those are We'll talk afterwards. That
seems more difficult.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, hold on. So Sunday night, we get drunk. That's the first night we have lists. We get drunk. With first night, we have lists.
You're not going to talk about Owen?
No, I'm not.
We don't have to go into harsh detail.
Owen was a man who faked a Scottish accent to hit on Roland.
I got hit on by a man the first night I was there. And honestly, it felt pretty good. I'll say that much.
Sure it was quite flattering.
Felt just like getting hit on by a woman. I'll say that much. Just as flattering. I'm married. Sorry, no, but thank you. See you later. Goodbye. Nice to meet you, Owen.
He was definitely a funny guy.
He said he was going to buy the drinks, though.
Yeah, and he lied.
And so we're walking out of the place, and all of a sudden, coming running after me is our bartender. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you need to pay for your drinks. And I was like, I thought I was getting that treatment of like the one time of my life.
You told him no.
He said he was going to buy because we tried expensive scotch. And I go in there and it's like $85. And I'm like, fuck. Like, there's $85 once again. Yeah. I'm just like,
well, you told him no. You told him no.
I'm not.
I know.
I'm married.
Of course.
I told you no, like every night we shared that king bed,
right.
dude.
It's true. I was rejected quite a bit on that trip. So then we get to list, which was the best meal I've had in a long fucking time.
Maybe ever for me. The sea bass and quinoa was delicious, because that sea bass was basically like still wiggling, and the chef would come over and like, hey-ya, sorry, very sorry about that, and like kill it. Like it was just so fresh. Like it was literally like you could see the guy catch it and be like, will this do? Like the best I've ever had. Oh man,
it's a tapas joint. They have,
and
some
I love fish. Yeah. Everybody on here, I'm talking about sushi all the time. Fish is my thing.
Yeah, it's a city for that for sure. But yeah, so
Owen didn't appreciate that fish was my thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Oh man, what a dirty and ugly and not funny. I'm gonna
flat just blow
joke.
Right past it. Excuse my terminology. So
that was rude. I'm joking. I'm sorry.
So that was bad. We get back to the room, and our goal had been, and we had thought.
I heard that from somebody else. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
We had thought that we were going to be like in the room well before all of this, and have all of our shit set up to record. And then we recorded a drunken episode, which is the only reason I continue to talk about this night, because people in Discord would really, especially the DotP patrons, several of them have hit me up and said, come on, release it as a Patreon episode.
Oh.
I don't know.
It was, I'd have to listen to it again.
That's what I told them.
It was one of those episodes that seemed like,
It seemed like a good idea when we first started it.
And I'm sure it's cool because like you hear us like shuffling from our room to the elevator to the roof of the building that we're on, and you can probably hear like the city like bustle. Yeah. And we're drunk, obviously.
Maybe but I want to listen to it before we do anything with it.
It's a big if on that one. That one, I even while it was happening, I was like, "We're not going to release this, right?" And like, if even drunk, no inhibition, Roland believes that it shouldn't be released.
I want to listen to it for sure to make sure there's nothing terrible that was said in that episode, and that we make sense, and that the recording quality was decent.
The recording quality was decent. I did check that, and I did listen to like 5 minutes, and I laughed my ass off. The problem is, and it's not like we're afraid for you to listen for like shit that's happening in North Carolina where we're like, damn, we can't wait for that. Like, it's nothing like that. It has nothing to do with, sexism or racism or anything to do with that or explicit language. It has more to do with
sounding like buffoons.
Sounding like absolute, loons.
Yeah.
Loons.
So we'll listen to it and we'll make a call there.
It would be funny for somebody who like really listened to just Denny and I. Maybe. Or maybe we'd just be like those drunk guys where
and
you're
it's
like...
mostly us recounting that night, which we just did here for you.
So I don't know.
In a way less concise manner. So, and us trying to talk about Dota and then never succeeding. So, Monday rolls around, day one of the event, and I don't want to talk. I want to talk about the games, but I want to talk about the games as like a big chunk. So I'm going to blow past being at the arena here. It was fun being at the arena. We started to meet people. We got to hang out in section 222 with a bunch of .p folks. But more what I want to talk about that occurred at the arena, because this has been getting a lot of attention on a lot of different social media. The sign.
On the thing. I wasn't
on
even.
The stream.
I was walking around so often, I didn't even notice that.
When I first saw,
people told me about it later, and I saw it in Discord.
I got to experience the sign on screen live in the stadium for the first time.
Oh wow!
I got to be there to see that happen, and there was part of me that was like, "Wow, that is so awesome," and then there was part of me that was like,
"Oh God,
are people gonna hate us?"
Yeah.
And you know what? But and at the same time, because like it is great advertising. It's the best advertising. You can hope for.
It's priceless advertising. Like literally, you literally cannot put a price on that. But here's the thing: is it can quickly turn into the worst advertising ever. And so there's like a thin rope.
And you know what? I don't want to trash it too much because so the guys behind that were Flutter,
Cellulon, and Chaos.
And
it's just Flutter.
It's Flutterer.
No, it's not. It's Flutter.
Flutter. Okay.
I'm hopefully not gonna be embarrassed, but I'm almost positive it's Flutter.
Okay. Regardless, those three are the men behind it, and I love you guys. I love that you did that. It was awesome to see.
Flutter. There's 2 R's.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess I assumed that was Flutterer.
Flutter.
2 R's.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I mean, it's the internet.
I could be wrong.
Who knows? I could be too. So for those who are tuning in and wondering, like, if we were behind that, we were not at all. I love that you guys did it.
I made a joke though midday Monday that I said you wouldn't believe how expensive it is to pay those sign people, in an attempt at my sarcastic humor. And then everyone's like, "How much did you pay him?"
Yeah,
and it's like. Nothing, you guys. I'm not gonna not that shameless.
And
I promise.
Then people started coming out of the woodwork asking us through like direct message via Skype, direct message on Twitter.
Wanting us to advertise on our sign
and I was just like, that's not us.
And I was like, and 2, if it were, fuck no. And so we found out that Flutter, the dude who was getting the seats, was showing up at the arena at 5:30 in the morning when they didn't open until 9 to get those seats.
Yeah.
Just to show off .p. And then it wasn't until there was...
God bless him.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's good for us, big time. And there were some really funny jokes on there.
There were hilarious
jokes.
Yeah,
there were some funny ones.
And honestly, it was fun for everybody to be getting shout-outs there in the Discord that, like,
like 07, TJ Sutton.
Yeah, and all that kind of stuff was really cool to see.
Really cool community building.
So Monday night we got to hang out with Tom, with Proud, Ursi, you, me, and...
It was fun. It was like and this also sounds dick, but it was like the guys, you know what I mean? Like, it was like the ones that I wanted to spend time with the most, like, in a way, like, because I've gotten to know them so well.
Yeah.
Over a little over a year, and Ursi and Proud probably getting close to 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, they're probably the most...
interacting with them, it's funny because, like, I never physically in person see Proud and Ursi, but I
It
talk
feels
to them.
so.
I talk to them all the time, and like it is like the moment I show up, and
It doesn't feel awkward. It doesn't feel
No,
weird.
like,
It's like it's just you're
henceforth-
picking up the conversation
Yeah.
that you just left off on.
after staying with them at TI6, like I don't know, yeah. There's
I mean, I kissed Thirsty on his forehead, dude.
and he
Like as I
loved
was
that,
walking
yes.
past, and he's like,
He was
"Ah,
very
fuck,
happy.
Roland, no, Roland, no, Roland, no, Roland, no, Roland." And I was like, "Come here, you little guy. I need to get you." And like, and like, yeah. I mean,
poor Thirsty.
I talk shit on Thirsty all the time, but I love the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Okay, proud, love the shit out of him too, and Tom, I'm not allowed to love the shit out of him. So
don't even know him.
don't even know who he is.
The sound engineer has no name.
But it was a really fun night. We ate at a place called Mama's in downtown Seattle. It's a
Also
Mexican joint.
delicious.
It was delicious. Yeah.
So then Tuesday night was a great night because we got to hang out. So
With
some
pretty
of
much
the-
everybody.
Yeah, with huge
Shrek and Betamax mostly. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we hung out with them a little before we went to a place called Adaball.
I hung out with Shrek all day Tuesday, dude.
Yeah.
Like literally, like I was like, dude, you want to go get a beer? And then it was like 9 hours later. Like,
Yeah.
so.
So hung out with
He's a cool guy.
Shrek 2 on DVD, Top Gun on Betamax. Hung out
And
with them.
yeah, Top Gun is also a super
Yeah,
cool guy.
both really great guys.
Yeah.
And then from there, proceeded to go to Adaball and
Which is a cool like bar pinball-cade.
yeah, just barcade.
Yeah.
yeah.
It was way fun. Wivrix drunkenly gave everybody $2.50 in quarters, and
Yeah.
he's like, "This is for you. This is for you." Meeting Wivrix was a joy too.
Yeah, I will say.
And Broken Wings and Cobb's girlfriend, I believe her name was Megan. She's not super big into Dota 2 yet, but she's getting there.
Yeah.
Um,
Chaos was there.
I don't think naming names is a good
I
idea.
know, it's terrible
because you're gonna miss that
somebody.
one person.
Pogo was there.
There were a ton of people.
There were a ton of people there, and it was a blast. We got to spend a
Meeting-
little bit of time with everybody.
There were some people like Mini Ninja that I felt bad. Like I really wanted to spend some time with Mini Ninja and didn't really get the chance to because it was like, I don't know. I went on like my 9-hour long journey with Shrek where we walked around Seattle and we're like, I was like, do you really care about what's going on in Dota today? And he's like, not really, dude. And I was like, do you want to just like fucking leave?
Dude, Mini Ninja's the champ. He was up there watching every game. Every time I went up to 222, Mini Ninja was there holding down the fort.
Yeah.
And
I did plenty of like passing by, like, hey, what's up? But I never really got to like
Grouty, by the way, Kitty Catty, and or at least those two. were
Grouty,
also
Kitty
at
Catty,
Adderall.
B-Dub, Sunshine.
Anyway, yeah, there were a ton of people showed up.
Mm-hmm.
So then Wednesday night was the .p meetup. We got to do a live recording, which was fun to do. A ton of people showed up. I was super nervous going into that because we'd done the event last year.
It was a good amount of people, maybe 20, 30, 40 people last year.
Yeah, I wanted to put it
compared
around
to probably
like 25
like
or 30.
200 in and outs. If you counted everybody that came in and out,
200 feels high, maybe.
I don't know. There were a good 50 to 70 constantly packed in that place. A good 10 people always outside, and I know like Pegasus was only there for like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
And like Tanaden was only there for like
was only there for
10 minutes. And so, I feel like if you were to count everybody that came in and out throughout that place, it was probably near
because you did
200.
have people pop in for like 20 minutes and then have to head out.
Yeah, and I mean it's TI night, and it was pretty amazing. I just had this moment where everybody was coming up and introducing themselves, and I think this is an episode you may have heard already. And I'm just like, wow, like TI5, there was like we came with every .p fan, which was like easy marquees.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and met Chaos.
And Chaos made us feel like made us feel.
Oh,
awesome.
I was riding high because Chaos recognized our voices.
Well, before we
for
even
days.
went in the stadium,
Yeah.
we're like, man, we're gonna get recognized like crazy.
I didn't have that delusion, but I was definitely riding pretty high for days that somebody recognized our voices
just by voice.
Because I knew like, and even still like, even going to TI now, like the only way anybody ever recognizes us is if you and I are bantering back and forth.
Well, I got a lot of people that say they watch the stream.
Yeah.
And like, I'm like, how? Like, there's only 5 people there, and they're like, yeah, I tune in and turn it off. And it's like, oh, okay. So like, cumulatively, I have probably like a lot of people that have watched it, but it's only like 5 people that have stuck with me.
Yeah.
there was. There was I guess Thursday night was GameWorks.
Well, so real quick though, on Wednesday was just. I do want to say thank you to everybody who showed up to that. It was a blast seeing everyone. I'm sorry that I can't I didn't. There's no way to name all the names that were there.
No, there's no way, and I wouldn't even want to try. But you guys are all super duper special.
A bigger thank you, though, to not a bigger, but a thank you as well to what surprised me most of this event was. I guess I was expecting relatively moderate to maybe even low turnout at the meetup, because I guess there was a part of me that assumed that only like the real active people that like are in the Discord constantly and are hitting us up on Twitter and in social media. I guess I kind of just assumed that those would be the people that predominantly showed up to the meetup, and I was really surprised at how many people showed up.
It was so cool to put screen name to face.
Yeah, but it was cool to show up, but also and talk to people who, said things like, "Yeah, I'm one of those people you talk about on the show that I don't interact with the show in any way, but I listen to the show."
Yeah, there were a lot of people where it's like, I have no idea, I've never seen that screen name.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like, but you're here, then that's awesome.
Yeah, and just introduce themselves and being able to chat with them. And it was interesting because I feel like we always get the perspective, which I thoroughly appreciate and enjoy. We always get the perspective of the people that are active in the community and the Discord who listen and give us feedback. It was a completely separate experience to be able to and we'll get to the story in a little bit, but like chat with John, who we chatted with Friday night.
That would have been right after our meetup with Dessa Ladies, which was a blast.
We'll get to that though. But it was nice to talk to somebody like John who had a lot of interesting insights as well, but never interacts with the community, but listens to a lot of episodes. Anyway, so Wednesday was a huge success. Thank you to everybody who turned out there. Thursday night was the Reddit GameWorks meetup. Breaky recorded his show live there. Had a fan walk up to him in the middle of that recording because he thought he was doing karaoke or something. I had to say hi. Have you listened to that recording yet?
I'm sorry. I was pulling up the person that I was going to give a huge shout out to. Who?
Yeah, Breaky in the middle of his recording had somebody walk up. Like, Breaky, hey, what's going on? And Breaky's like, oh, nothing, just recording a show.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, but anyway, so that was a blast. We got to meet a lot of cool people there. The guys like behind Discord, and meeting Leaf Eater in person was really nice. Some of the mods,
not just Leaf Eater though, but like, god damn, like I feel bad. Like we all have no names. Okay, everybody there was awesome and cool and great. Like that's it.
Yeah,
and that's all I really have to say.
Decency, that was the other moderator that we got to chat with a little bit.
Oh, I was like, yeah, everybody totally decent people.
Decency is
Decency was a good word for everybody that came to the DotP meetup. The Reddit meetup was great. I just didn't really, it felt more like a gathering of cliques, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Instead of like a united front, like the DotP, it wasn't a bunch of people in their own little clique. It was everybody was talking to everybody else, and
mingling and being time. Like, "Oh, that's you."
And like it was just so many like, "Oh my god, I played so many pot." Like, and then Zyori and Trent Pax,
Android, Lyrical,
Android, Lyrical, and it was just really cool to have them come, and everybody was, I'm sure, excited to see them, and it was a great time to see Zyori for the third year in a row, and I don't know, Zyori, arguably one of the people for our big break. .p.
They're in those early.
We got
early
Zyori,
days,
and then all of a sudden we got the Davids from BTS. Then we got it's just he was kind of that middle, like
a tipping point.
That tipping point guest that we got that just kind of threw it all over, and like it was. I just it was being able to thank him in person, and he was having a good time, and we were all having a good time. And
and lucky us, Rivrix was wearing a Zyori shirt when he showed up. So
Zyori.tv.
Yeah. So all that was it was really cool.
Yeah.
So Reddit was great Thursday night. Friday night was the Dessa Ladies meetup. A real blast hanging out with the Dessa Ladies. Oh my god,
it was fun. Oh, it was so much fun.
A lot of karaoke.
As you guys know, I love karaoke. Yeah. And I got to go to like a karaoke bar. I've never been to a karaoke bar.
Like straight up,
like that was their theme. It wasn't like there's karaoke at this bar. This is a karaoke bar.
Yeah.
And so you can go in private rooms that are like seat like 15, 20 people and sing karaoke.
Yeah.
Or you can go out into like the main place and sing karaoke. So I met Bad Wolf. She's in Desolated. She's awesome. Because I needed somebody to help sing Home from Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros. It's a duet. And I was like, are there any female singers that are willing to, sing this with me? And she's like, yeah, sure. And holy fuck, her voice.
Yeah, we need to get her. Yeah, we need to get her for some .p parodies. So
we sang that song. Like, there were so many times where I just I put the microphone down and just let her sing the male part too. And was just like, you're way good at this, and I'm not.
No,
and so,
you were singing. It wasn't Edward Sharpe with her.
Yeah, it was Home. We sang 2 songs in that room. We also sang.
I thought you sang Edward Sharpe out in the main room.
We did as well. We sang it twice.
You sang with her? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we sang it twice. And then we sang another song. I can't remember what it was in that room.
Follow You Into the Dark.
Oh yeah, I Will Follow You Into the Dark.
Death Cab. Yeah.
Death Cab. That was awesome because I was able to slightly embellish. That's all I did. I wasn't singing that song. I was letting her sing that, and just for the chorus, I'd come in, and for the other parts I'd come in. But her voice, you can follow her on Twitter. It's kind of hard. It's at O0BadWolf0O. It's kind of a tough one. We should talk to her about proper marketing. Let's just go with BadWolf007 or something like that, so it's easier. But no, it's BadWolf, Twitch.tv, O0BadWolf0O. Super cool. Wolfstar Killer is another way you can find her. She was a blast to hang out with, as were everybody else.
Leafy Peachy.
I mean, a huge shout out to
Jen
I
Giraffe.
just hate doing the names because it's I could get probably pretty far, but there'd be that one person that's well, fuck you.
Yeah.
We had a great talk, and you really? So,
for sure.
I try and avoid that.
Later that night, after the Desoladies meetup was ending, we went with Proud to
where all the casters and all the talent and all the players were staying. Yeah,
saw a Coddle guy there, a couple of other folks.
It was more for marketing with Steel Series and all that. But
that was where we got to talk to John, who was at Shelved Games. He does a Shelved Games podcast.
Yeah.
As well,
too, yeah.
But he was a really nice guy. Had a ton of
interesting
insight.
Came out to us was DotP, and we're like, yeah.
I was surprised anybody there knew us.
So many times I said no, and some people just walked off, and they asked me, "Are you Roland?" And I'd be like, "No."
Why would you do that?
Because GameWorks was awkward as fuck for me, dude. I'm walking around GameWorks, and I just need to go to the bathroom or something, and it's "Hey, Roland." I'm like, no, sorry, that's not me. And this would keep going. I don't like that. I'm not into that at all.
Yeah.
It was cool, if it's somebody else that I know, you know what I mean? But I'm
but this is going to discourage people from coming up and saying hi to you.
Well, say hi to Cyphus. Say hi to Cyphus. Say hi to Proud. Say hi to Ursi.
Say hi to Roland too.
I'm sorry. I'm not a dick. I'm not don't think I'm too
good
or anything.
A little dickish.
No, I'm not coming across that. I'm just it's super awkward. I just not awkward from you. Awkward. I'm the one being awkward.
Yeah.
I am the one that's dude. I just shit into a microphone. I'm just here like you. I'm just going to get a drink. Hi. Hi.
You just say hello.
I would just
shake the hand.
I had
Thanks for listening.
I had a panic moment there.
Should at least do that,
I was weird. Usually I'm very social butterfly-y and whatnot. But when it comes to that, it was just I don't want to be scrutinized by anyone for my behaviors tonight. That's more I was I am probably just looking disheveled and drunk and this is not how I want to appear to anybody who listens to the show.
Yeah.
It was
fair enough.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
So then Saturday morning, we woke up from that party and we were fairly certain, and of course, you all know the outcome. We were fairly certain that it was going to be a China v. China finals. I was feeling oh my God.
We were beat. That was, I said, if I had a life buff instead of Dota buff, life buff records, 6 consecutive bad hangover days in a row. Saturday was when the breaking point hit, where I was look, I am done having hangovers.
Yeah.
This is going to be the last one. And if I would have stayed Saturday night, that would have been the culmination of a week of hangovers. Yeah. It would have been the ultimate hangover, dude.
I was I was just exhausted because it was just nonstop. After we got there, And I was thinking, like, I wasn't super psyched to see a China v China finals, which is what I thought we were about to get, because LFY.
Why are you so PR? Like, we were both like, fuck China v China. Like, we're not going to stay for that bullshit. Like, I was not interested.
No, that's more or less what I said. Like, LFY looked super dominant. I was shocked that LFY didn't make it to the
losing to
grand
Newbie.
finals.
Newbie was the worst team. They were. Newbie should have been like 4.
Well, I told you my theory. Is that I think...
Oh, and that was a good... Go ahead and share it.
So
that was a good theory.
My theory is, because the way, as I understand it, what typically happens in those matches is the coach is looking a series down the road, mostly for a team, but the team is prepping for the very next series. Because all that really matters is getting to the next series, because every place matters. Whereas the coach is the one who's going to try to provide you with that extra prep work. I think everybody on Liquid was looking at LFY and looking at Newbie and going, LFY is going to kick the shit out of Newbie and knock them down to the lower bracket. We've got to beat Newbie to get to We've got to beat Newbie to get to the grand finals. We'll worry about LFY later when we have 5 games to deal with it. So I think they prepped their asses off for Newbie, just hoping to get second place. And the coach was looking at LFY. And instead what happened is they wound up facing fucking Newbie. Yeah. And I don't think, I think that I'll wager that shocked Liquid as much as it did anybody else. And I mean, clearly, like, Liquid knew what to do with Newbie when they got to Newbie. Like, LFY, we saw them lose that first game to LFY, and they kind of had to scramble to figure out what to do to come back and take that series. And that was a close one. That was a super fucking close call for Liquid right there, having to face off against LFY. And then we saw him just stomp Newbie 3 games in a row. And I don't know.
It looks like no contest, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of, like, I heard from Tom that it wasn't that hype in the stadium for the finals because it was just kind of like, you know, instead of like, I remember we were driving and you're like, oh man, I hope Newbie wins the next 2 games, which would have been, that was when Liquid was up 2. And I was like, nah, dude. Like, nah, just let him shut him out here. Like, we're already gone. Like, we don't need that suspense. Like, we're already gone.
I would have enjoyed it. I was enjoying listening to those matches on the drive.
Well, intermittently listening as we had service.
But I will say, I'm glad we left early. It would have been fun to stay.
I missed my son. I missed my wife. Like, I missed my life.
I can just tell you that getting to work at 7, we're recording this on Monday. I don't know when you guys are hearing it. But the thought of having gotten home at about 2 a.m. on a Sunday night, or on technically Monday morning, and then 5 hours later being at work, that...
it wouldn't have been possible.
That would have been misery.
I slept for 15 hours. So I got home at like 3 after dropping you off, and then had a horrible sore throat, and didn't fall asleep until about 4:30, and then Audrey and the baby were asleep, so I slept in the guest bedroom because I was like, I'm not gonna, like, I have a cough, like I don't want to get the baby sick, like I don't know if I am sick. Slept in the guest bedroom, and then she came in and was like, oh my gosh, it's Dad, blah, you know, and like. Of course, like, it wouldn't matter what it was. Like, if it was 1 hour later, I was going to wake up and hang out with my family that I hadn't seen in a couple weeks, which was a long time. The longest I've ever been away from Charlie. And so I got up and I hung out with them, and we got some, you know, breakfast and had a great time. And then I was like, I'm just going to lay down for like an hour, babe. And I went to bed at like 6:30 p.m. and didn't wake up until the very next day at 9 a.m.
Damn.
And Audrey was like, I think it's probably time you wake up now. It's like, you've been sleeping for 15 hours.
In case you're in a coma.
And I was like, 15 hours, huh? That's got to be another life record, you know what I mean? Put that on my life buff. Yeah. Like, that's top 10, like, how much I've slept. You know, I guess being a baby, maybe I've slept more than that, like...
So I wanted to talk more about Dota, but I feel like we're running long.
No, I mean, this is...
What are we at?
The Dota was awesome, you guys. I'm sure most of you saw it. It was great to see Lycan.
Well, what are we at time-wise?
We're at an hour.
Okay. All right. I'll say the big highlights, the big takeaway from this tournament for me was how important position supports
the 4
are.
Position. It's all about the 4. The 4, and it's like, it's not like our original thought here.
No.
Like, like PBD was like, this is all about the 4.
Yeah, just learning that and seeing that, and more importantly, seeing things like, oh, fuck, Coddle's kind of OP right now. Or
Well,
like if Kotl
just
can hit Ags.
The
like,
daytime, like that strat was awesome. Where it's like, okay, get everybody like fuck off from GH. Let him get his Ags. Like take a little less farm than you usually would. Let him get his Ags.
Dude, I don't even think they were doing that. Like I think that GH,
it was hard to like quantify how he was getting so much goddamn gold.
Well, because he was their D push. And so anytime a core wasn't going to be able to D push a tower, that's where GH was, and he was throwing out Illuminate Blast, eating waves, farming those, and then
so
every
cool.
time they went to fucking push, and even better is like he was also doing that anytime they pushed, because it's like when you're pushing, you're not farming. Fuck off carries, fuck off everybody who thinks they're going to get the last hit. Like some of you are built to do
Unless
it.
it's like Anti-Mage's fan or something like that, like give it to them, and if it's like an early push to a tier 2.
It's like we need to wave clear. Like the point, if we're pushing a tier 1 or a tier 2 or a tier 3.
I hate when it's like I don't know, like some like juggernaut where it's like, no, I'm last, like we're pushing, and it's like, dude, like I'm gonna last hit these because like this isn't pushing.
GH was getting his farm because he was blasting down waves anytime they were pushing, and when he had that Ags and they were going high ground, his fucking job was to sit back, throw out every Illuminate Blast he could.
Did you notice it was everybody's job in some games, and it was just Miracle on the high ground, and everybody was on the low ground?
Yeah, and just keeping just one person alive.
Keeping Miracle alive. Yeah. Like I remember the Troll game where Miracle was on Troll Warlord.
In any
like,
team fight, just seeing
holy
those,
fuck,
seeing those Illuminate Blasts go out. That ability in daytime, when you were getting that like mass differential of like, here's damage being done to the enemy, here's healing being done to the allies,
and with Chakram,
that differential's insane
because he's giving himself mana.
Oh yeah,
and then using Illuminate, so he can illuminate 4 seconds earlier than he normally,
constantly.
And I think I'm sure he built Nocturne Core because like there were times when he had the most last hits.
Yeah, I mean he had
else.
a crazy farm.
Yeah, so he was like just literally constantly waves of healing.
It made me want to play. It made me want to play Kotl in particular.
It made me think like, oh my god, there's such thing as a daytime draft. Oh my god, there's such thing as a nighttime draft. Oh my god,
not
there's
even
such
so much
thing
as like a daytime or a nighttime draft, but like just an understanding. Like we selected these heroes. This is the time to push.
Well,
you know what I mean.
In many regards, like they didn't push any other time than daytime. Like their strategy was
for sure
daytime strat.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Once
like,
that Ags was up, it was
that is fucking cool. Like, and that's the first time I've ever, and I'm sure other people have noticed this, but like, of course other people have noticed this, but that's the first time I've ever like thought like, wow, like a daytime draft.
Well,
that's
just
cool.
contemplated that because I mean the other big element to that, of course, is the vision that he's getting during the day and the ability to see on that high ground. I mean, there's just so much. I don't know. There's so many great intricacies to Dota. Being able to see the importance that heroes that impact vision in the game have on the game at the pro level was pretty fascinating.
Yeah,
I thoroughly enjoyed that as well.
Yeah.
I at some point we should delve when we
it'd be really cool to go into the heroes of TI,
and you're gonna get that from Breaky
you'll get
coming
that
up,
from
and
Proud
Theorycraft
and
Thursday
Ursi.
is gonna go into all that kind of shit. But and I'm sure you and I'll touch on it again because we're gonna be hype on TI for a while.
Man, there's just that was. I mean, I heard that I've heard mixed things, but I heard from Andrew, the Grand Wazoo, that it wasn't the best spectator experience from Twitch. Like there were some issues, which is a bummer to hear. But like, and this is just me, I guess, rubbing it in. But like, it was an exceptional experience being there. I guess, and God, I feel blessed.
Not enough to have kept us the last day, though. Apparently.
Well. I just came to this realization, like I was in the shower and was like, oh man, I'm going to go. It's going to be fun. We're going to sit up at 222. I'm going to meet a bunch of maybe more .p people. It's going to be awesome. And then I was like, I've had my fun.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
at what point, like
every night.
How much more fun do I need to have? Like this has been the best vacation I've ever taken in my life.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to even risk going another day to make this trip worse, if that's even possible.
Made the best trip by all the folks that were there.
Well, it was by my prime operative, which was my prime operative TI5 was like interviews. My prime operative TI6 was like rub elbows, and my prime operative TI7 was fuck TI6 and TI5. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna enjoy TI, and I'm gonna meet as many people that are like-minded as I can. And I did just that, and it was an excellent experience.
Yeah, for sure.
10 out of 10. I'm definitely going to go to TI8, and I'm going to hopefully be able to meet even more of you. Because, goddamn, the people that .p attracts, which I don't take credit for this,
No, it's the community.
And Denny should. I don't know if any single person can take credit for this. But the people that .p attracts are literally, and Desoladies for that matter, are goddamn cream of the crop. Like, they are the people I want to surround myself with. And like, literally, there were only maybe 2 exceptions being in that. And those were people that weren't even .p, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those are people that were like, I'm going to go see if I can glom on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And other than that, it was an amazing experience. I love that nobody felt this, there was no hierarchy. I love that. There was nobody that was like, kiss my, pinky, it wasn't like that at all.
Yeah.
Everybody was just friends. Like, nobody felt better than anybody else. Nobody was better than anybody else. We were all just a group of friends, lucky enough to be in Seattle during the International.
Yeah.
And that was so cool for me.
Yeah.
God. Yeah, it was awesome. Like, somebody was like, "Are you Roland in line?" And I'm with Shrek. And I was like, No. I was like, "Yeah, I am, but I'm going to be leaving the show. This is the new guy." And like, basically, like, pawned the entire thing off on Shrek. Said he started it. It was his idea. Everything. And seeing Shrek go along with it was awesome. And he's like, "Yeah, it's been 3 years of hard work. We've been really trying to maintain numbers," and it's just like, it was so awesome, dude. But yeah, no, it was such a wonderful time, you guys.
Yeah,
and
thanks to everybody who showed up.
I can't thank you guys enough.
Yeah. It was a really good time meeting
like
everybody.
.p, man, we are so fortunate. We
Absolutely.
really are.
All right, I'm going to close the show out by reading the latest iTunes review.
Oh, and Bloody Guy, great to meet you. Like, I feel like when I gave him that, were you there when I gave him that ticket? No, I was with Captain Silverfox. I gave him the ticket, and he's like, looked at it like it was the golden ticket to Willy Wonka's factory to get in, and was like, "Go enjoy yourself. Everybody's up at 2:22." And he's like, "Thank you." And I was like, You're welcome, man. Like, go have fun. Like, you're awesome. Like, I appreciate your honesty in games. Like, you're a cool dude." And he was just like, "Oh, okay." And it was just like that feeling of like going to a TI and like I've never been before, and like was there and got to go inside. And like, it was like, fuck, I wish I would have had 1,000 tickets, 10,000 tickets, and been able to do that for everybody, because, man, that was cool.
Yeah,
it
was a fun time.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to read the quick review. Not a Do Nothing podcast by D. Cleary1312. This is July 30th, so we're a little behind. 5 stars. Definitely got better at Dota by listening to this podcast. Going to go ahead and say not this particular show. The hosts are great, and they always try to create new and interesting content. Thanks, guys. Rubik for Arcana. Boomslang.
Nice.
Sorry, Boomslang.
Boomslang lives in Utah.
Yeah. Sorry that Rubik did not get the Arcana.
You had a good... Who had the...
It was not me. No,
somebody said that Rubik was going to steal the Arcana from Pudge on the last day.
That would have been pretty entertaining.
Yeah, that would have been
the last
hilarious.
thing I need in my fucking pub matches.
I'm going to... The second that Pudge Arcana comes out, I'm going to buy it.
Gross.
I love Pudge. And if I were a business, I don't care if Rubik won by like 50%. Like, I'm going to be like, "Yep, Pudge won, guys." Just for the same reason that IO didn't win. Nobody plays IO. It's not going to sell that many. Guess what the number one hero usually is? Number one hero played. It's Pudge.
It's always Pudge.
Make a Pudge Arcana, Valve. Rig the election if you have to. I don't care. So long as you keep making Dota better. And they are. Yeah. They're doing their damnedest. Like, I'm always on Valve's ass. And yeah, they could hire a team to make it better. But like, they gave me the best week of my life. So how much bitching can I do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fair enough. All right. I'm closing this out. You guys can find us at defenseofthepatients.com. Follow us on Twitter at .p_show. Send us emails to defenseofthepatients@gmail.com. You can find our Patreon at patreon.com/defenseofthepatients. We will have 2 Patreon episodes coming up. Sorry we're late. TI, all that. Yeah, mostly it's me fucking up.
Crazy stuff.
And let's see. Well, that's it. That's good. That's all we need. Thanks. Oh, of course, you can always leave reviews on iTunes. That really helps us. It's the best free way to support the show. And you can click through the Amazon banner, which is also a free way to support the show anytime you're going to go shop at Amazon. That's on our website, defenseofthepatients.com. Until next time, this is Cyphus for Roland saying good luck.